Welcome to Why We Love Horror TV, episode 3. I'm John Maher. This is my wife, Fiorella. That's Aaron Brooks over there by himself. Abby could not make it tonight. And special guest this week, we're turning it into like a huge group of married folks that watch this show. It's Bobby and Jess Castner. How are the Castners doing this evening?
Pretty good. Hungry, ready to eat on the show, I guess.
All right.
No, she doesn't agree with that.
The show doesn't make me want to eat.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
You sure about it? I guess not. It is good Miami cuisine every week. But Aaron, how you doing?
I'm good. And eventually, Abby will be back with us. She is alive. She is not in a shipping container or anything else that I know of. But
Is
I'm
Abby
good.
a police informant?
Not that I am allowed to say, but
Okay.
I'm great. I'm still relieved if we're judging how I'm feeling based on how the show is going, because we're 4 episodes into this series, and I think we're 4 for 4.
Well, This episode is called Fender Bender, and it looks a little something like this.
I've seen dead bodies before. I don't know why this one did this to me. Our killer wanted to feel the life leaving, wanted to look into the victim's eyes.
You saying it was personal?
My brother just started working with my dad. They can't get enough of each other.
I'm scared if I try to bottle them up, these feelings will come out in ways I can't control. If anyone deserves to be killed, it's whoever did this. Do you have someone in mind? Dexter, Original Sin. New series now streaming on the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan.
The only thing I'll say about that promo, a dearth of Joey Pants. Not much, no Joey Pants at all. But he is in the episode. Joe Pantoliano shows up, and that's my favorite part of everything. Fiorella, you can go. What did you like about the episode? Just brief stuff.
Super quick. It was a good episode, and the last 30 seconds made me gasp out loud in a way that I haven't in a while on any type of show that I've watched. So, totally excited about this series.
Kick it on down to the casters. What were your first quick impressions of Fender Bender?
I was excited to see the reconstruction of the crime scenes. I love Dexter getting into that. That's my happy place.
I'm all for Joey Pants doing whatever he wants to do, and Beach Bum Jimmy Buffett Joey Pants.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I really hope he lives from the car hit. I don't know if that's the case, but I really hope he lives.
Yeah, I think just having him in one episode feels like a waste. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest with the Dexter Original Sin series. Like, I don't know if this is just my feeling or not, but I almost am like in a rush to get past the Dexter parts at points and learn about the stuff that's adding to like the Harry backstory and stuff like that. This show should be called Harry, like almost like I get the Dexter Original Sin point of it, but I feel like by the end of this, we're learning the most about Harry and Laura Moser. Like that's what this episode, especially for me.
I would agree with that. My only small like nitpick is like whatever they're doing to de-age Christian Slater in the 70s scenes is weird. But that's it. Like everything else,
it goes with the color.
Yeah, okay.
It goes with the color.
But I think Christian Slater's like just absolutely slaying. And like Fiorella had the revelation, he's not as old as we thought he was. He's still in his 50s now.
Yeah.
Killing.
I was about to say he's like 70.
So many late 50s, so many years to come.
55, mid 50s.
Yeah, with Christian Slater. He actually was the age he was supposed to be in Heather, which I did not know.
Sure. Our baby.
Getting into the episode, basically it's kind of like what Jess said. We are getting into like, Dexter's on the job. He's like, it's not his first day anymore. He gets his first solo crime scene where he's kind of relegated to the LaGuardia B team, where they're just dealing with like hookers and undesirables getting killed. So we get to see part of that. And also, like Aaron said, more to the backstory of Laura getting closer and closer to her fate, which we know. But we do get to see Harry babysit the kids. So
that was really sweet.
Yeah.
I'm in love with Harry. I said this last episode, and I love him. I love him. I think it's an amazing. Yeah, I want it to be the Harry show. I still kind of miss James Remar a little bit, but I am warming up to Christian Slater. What do you guys think about that?
I'm trying to get past the idea of like, it's a stupid thing, but like the weird ages of Dexter and Brian, Like Dexter was supposed to be like 3 or 4 when he's in the shipping container, and here he's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something. It looks like it. But what I liked about this is, when we see Dexter and they go to the shipping container, and we only see Dexter in the blood, but then we learn about Brian and it expands out. We didn't really get a sense of why Harry would like leave a kid, even though he was an older kid. But this kind of gives a sense of like he recognizes, because he's torturing all of the lizards in Miami, I guess, that he might be too far gone just from this exposure. So that's my little nitpicks aside. It's kind of opening that up, and it's really cool to see that.
Yeah. And about that, like, yay, Harry. Like, how does one handle coming in and seeing a kid snapping off those, mutilating those animals like that? Good job, because I wouldn't have been able to stomach that. And what do you do?
That's after a drowned kid incident too. That's crazy.
Right. Harry has no luck with children, it seems.
No.
Yeah. We're gonna really find out a lot more about Brian. Because I don't think this is the first time we saw him. I mentioned last episode, I think he was the guy who came up at the restaurant who looked like Brian. I know that a lot of people online have also figured that out at this point. I'm not going to pretend I'm the only one who noticed that, but I did notice that before going on to X/Twitter. So there's that. I mean, it's just like you kind of forget how little you know about the Ice Trail Killer from the original series. Like, it's been so long since I've seen that first season, but like, I forgot how like significant Brian really does play a role in Dexter and how Harry views Dexter. And, when they find Dexter with the lizard, he's claiming he's trying to save it. I don't quite believe that. I think that he was just having a harder time with his dark passenger at that point. I don't think he was trying to save a lizard and just killed it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he of mice and mend it and, put it in his pocket and then, oh no, but I don't know. I'm just like, I will always come back to this. Like, John has read the books. Dexter is an unreliable narrator. He is not reliable, and he is not the only unreliable narrator. Harry is not a reliable narrator either. So if these Harry flashbacks are supposed to be from Harry's perspective, he's really coming across as super cop, super dad with a tragic backstory. And I'm not buying that either.
I will say, since I didn't have to bring it up, you brought up that I read the books.
Yes.
I do feel that like they did us a disservice then if they are going to be expanding on Brian, because the only spoiler I'll give you is in the books, Brian survives the book. Dexter lets him go in the book, and he's a character throughout all 7 books, and he's a great character. So I kind of feel like, knowing that there's a lot of desire to see more Brian, I wish they hadn't killed him off in the show.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a mistake that, sometimes early in shows we make mistakes and get rid of characters that we look back on and are like, why did we do that? And I agree.
But without that, he wouldn't have been in Twilight. So.
True that. And speaking of the reverse, if we had Brian in the books, we lose LaGuardia actually in the series. We do have it all the time. And my wife and I had a conversation. At first, she was angry that Christina Milian was cast as LaGuardia, because she did not know that Christina Milian is Hispanic, which she is. So Fiorella is happy as we discovered that she is a good New Jersey Hispanic, just like my wife.
Yeah, she's
allowed to be LaGuardia because she is Cuban. So thank you, Christina Milian, for being born Cuban. My wife forgives you.
Yeah. Yes. Cuban B.
You're that. I agree with everything you say. I think the casting with the kids, that was bothering me too, because I'm like, wait, he was like 2 or 3 in the original Dexter, and this one he looks way older. Did you guys catch when they found the body hanging? I swore that it was an adult until like you see them like carrying him. I was like, oh, was the adult hung and the kid was in the car? It took me a quick second, but like until I realized, oh, the hung person was the kid. And then you agreed too.
The body looked big when it
looked huge.
And I'm still going with my cartel is not behind this kidnapping theory. There's no way they're behind it. It's somebody. It's a character we know is behind this.
Is it the obvious of the detective? I'm blanking on his name right now, but
Bobby?
yeah,
I think it's him versus Sarah Michelle.
it's not Sarah. It's
You
not.
don't think it is her?
Oh, I definitely thought it was McDreamy.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
you
that's
think
what I was
it's the cheat or the captain? Okay.
Because we did make that comment. Do you remember his eyes staring at
Yeah,
you,
it's
boring
fucking
holes
scary.
into you when he's speaking at that press conference? Like, that is a look I had never seen, not in Grey's Anatomy. Definitely not.
And
in
he's
Grey's
not
Anatomy.
here anymore in the show. He went somewhere, and he's probably in a bag with a bunch of other people at the bottom of that same spot in the ocean. Which I'm going to jump around here because this episode, I feel like this is much more of a, I don't mean in a bad way, a filler episode. I don't think there's a ton that happens. I think there's a lot that's filled in, though, which in a show like this, I'm okay with. In a normal like Netflix show, I hate the filler episodes where nothing happens. But here, there's so many places to kind of fill in information with Brian, fill in with Harry, and Deb, I guess, which we'll get to at the end because Deb's storyline sucks this episode. But whatever. I guess sure we're going somewhere with Gio. It will be interesting. But, you know, like at the end of the day, I appreciate the context. I think the way that, you know, that overall opened up was really effective as well. And I mean, the mystery of who killed the kid and everything, I kind of care about, but I'm also like, you know, if it's just McDreamy at the end of the day, I'm going to be a little disappointed because we're all watching him like, you go away. So it's not like,
no matter who it is, if it's McDreamy, he's gonna kill Sarah Michelle Gellar. If it's Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's gonna kill McDreamy. One or the other is gonna happen.
What about if somehow it's just like Masuka? There's like
he gets away with it.
You're never looking at them the same.
Or Clark.
Oh my God, if it's Masuka, what a crazy review. I would respect the shit out of that decision if Masuka is the guy. That would be crazy. Yeah, I think we're gonna come full circle. Let's have a serious discussion about Joe Pantoliano and how great he is, though. Very happy to see him. All points taken. I do like that we get the one classic Joey Pants moment where he's just sick of answering questions and he's basically like, "Fuck off, kid." I was very happy. It brings me full circle to watching the Goonies as a child whenever I see Joey Pants do anything. What do you think of Joey Pants, man?
It took me a second to realize who you guys were talking about because I am really bad at remembering actors' names and stuff like that. Yeah, he was great. I mean, he was good.
I thought he was more than great. I thought like it was a lovely surprise I had no idea about. And it also like fills in a question I've always had about how Dexter got into boating because it's never added up to me whatsoever. And once he learns from this mobster, oh, I'm going to borrow this from this guy. I'm going to borrow this from this guy.
I just had a light bulb go off. Just like Bobby said before, what if he does survive the car crash? Dexter has a change of heart, and this is a mentor character for him.
Ooh.
Oh.
I would gladly welcome that.
That
would explain it. And he's like, "Yo, yeah, what do you do with the bodies?" Well, I just dump the bodies in the bay. And then some of those bodies are actually his, but Dexter has to take credit for all like 163 of them. However many of them.
I do enjoy that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm all for that. That sounds great.
While he's on his deathbed.
I like the idea of using foreclosures as a metaphor for killing people. It reminded me of The Irishman, where we talk about painting houses.
I heard you paint houses.
I kind of like this better. So yeah, I also like him snapping into like killer mode. I was like, he's not done. You just hit him with a guitar. That's not enough
the
for
Clapton.
Not the
That got
Clapton.
me.
And he hits him with it anyway. Oh.
He's like,
But I was glad to see it because as opposed to like my gripe with the last episode, which was like, how is he like such a good fighter already? Like, I like that this kind of made it a little more realistic in the like world of Dexter. Like, yeah, you're not going to win all of them. Like, it makes no sense, especially in the beginning. We need to see some type of failure for you to be as great, quote unquote, as you are in the future.
And I like the homage to season 5. You know, Dexter's chasing after the dude in the storage containers wrapped in plastic with lumen. And, you know, that one he tackles him because he's super murderer. But in this one, he can't catch up to Joey Pants, which is an interesting concept.
it really was.
And he gets saved by a Deus Ex Machina, which is appropriate because it's a machine. There you go.
Anything else we missed in this episode that worth touching on here?
I'll just go to the Deb storyline for a minute. It's not working this episode. This is a problem with Dexter throughout Dexter's time. Is the storylines about the ones closest to Dexter, sometimes they don't have anything to do with Dexter, and it's really kind of distracting, and they try to find a way to kind of shoehorn in a way to make it relevant, which I think is what Gio is here for. Eventually we're going to find out what a creep he is, because Deb's not got the best picker, as we know. But yeah, this was the first episode where I was really like, she doesn't have anything to do. And this is noticeable here. So I've been a huge Deb supporter going into this, but this was not a great episode for Deb, if I'm being honest here, but everybody else I think was really, really solid here. And, I think that however long Joey's around for will be interesting. I'd be much more interested if he ends up living, though. I think that would be way
I'm just waiting for the episode where Deb becomes a punk rock drummer in New Jersey, right, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Check out Bloody Axe Murders or whatever that horrible
Bloody Axe Wound in theaters now. Don't watch it. Anyway,
don't watch it, and don't watch it when it comes to Shudder in March. Awful movie.
All right. Bobby, Jess, anything we left out that you guys want to touch on?
I didn't know that in 1991 Blockbusters were such a place that you could literally go outside the Blockbuster and just snort cocaine. Like
in Miami.
As simply as you would
ask Miami for you.
It's Miami. Actually,
no,
I'm making a point too. But go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
I'm disappointed in the Deb stuff, because the first episode we watched, I was like, of the legacy characters, I felt like their casting of Deb was the best. Like, I was like, this is the person I really believe grows up to be Jennifer Carpenter amongst everybody else, even though I like
her. Yeah, you're on the right side of history, Bobby.
Don't shake your head, yes. You don't know.
I disagree. That's fine.
But yeah, she seemed kind of just like a weird satellite, and that kind of annoys me.
Don't worry, Gio's gonna prove to be a sexual assaulter and many other things, I'm sure. And like Gio's got bad vibes written all over him.
You think Gio more than her best friend? I guess now. Gio.
I think Gio is bad news. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good news in his blue convertible. So I have my eyes on Gio.
You were going to mention the whole Michael Jordan thing, but how like Dexter knows exactly who Patrick Bateman is within 60 days of that book being released, but he doesn't know who Michael Jordan is in 1991.
Which I wanted to highlight to him, because his point was like, oh, how does he know who Bateman is? And I'm like, because
he's a
Dexter would probably pay attention to that way more than who Michael Jordan is, even though that was like, it felt like a stretch, because even I knew who he was.
Was Michael Jordan like Michael Jordan in 1991? By 1991,
yeah, he was Michael Jordan my whole childhood, and I was
right. But he hadn't even, this is going to turn into sports talk, but he hadn't even, I think, beat the Detroit Pistons by that point. Bad boys.
Now you lost.
You would know that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying he hadn't become a champion yet. I don't see Dexter following sports anyways. So
I don't either.
So Mills Lane, I'll allow that.
Yeah,
91. That's his first title, but I don't know what month it is. That was it. Did you guys talk about the soundtrack of the show at all in the first?
It's always great. It's always great.
Amazing.
It kicked off great. This episode
kicked off. I was like, wow, they spent a lot of money on music in this, and you know what? I'm for it. It's just I was expecting like whatever like 1990 early 90s pop stuff. Please, just you're gonna throw that in there at some point.
When you lead with CNC Music Factory, you can't. I mean, you can't go up from there though. You should end with CNC Music Factory. That's what I say. But that's
it should have been. It should have come back around.
Yeah, more roller skaters.
More roller. Yeah, the heck, more roller skating, please.
More hard body.
Like we do every episode, we're gonna rate this episode now. So. We'll start with our guests. Out of a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate this episode?
I'm gonna say probably a 3.5. And the reason being, give my reasons.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, I think it was great just to build. I mean, we need character development, of course. We're learning more about the rift between Deb and her dad and her, and her brother, and just seeing all the jealousy, all the things that come into play, and also seeing her come into her own as far as like, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go do drugs. And I'm going to go hang out with weird men that I meet in clubs. And I mean, that's fun. Now, where I think it kind of takes the downturn to me again is we're talking a little bit more about just the wow factor of the child who was murdered. And being a parent of a 2-year-old now, I think it just hits harder. It's an icky feeling, and it didn't really leave me feeling fantastic. Also, the murder on the beach of the NHI, which I don't like that acronym either. No human involved, right? Pretty shitty. Right. There you
go. I'm gonna weirdly enough, I'm gonna go with 4 stars.
Videotapes here.
4 videotapes. If they had developed more of what was going on with Deb, it would have pushed it higher. But I like this concept of Dexter slowly unraveling ideas of his past without really knowing about it. I like them expanding out the Camilla stuff. We joked that it was funny they made the observation that they didn't digitize the records, and I was like, that's what saved Dexter's life, or whatever, however you want to say it. Didn't reveal him to anybody because they kept all those records as paper records. But I think the background, as Aaron alluded to, of the Harry and Laura storyline and how their family comes to kind of collide with Harry's family is really compelling. And, you throw Joey Pants on top of that, throwing 800 miles an hour. And I gotta give it up, give it props.
Aaron, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm the eternal optimist on this show. I am trusting the entire process. And I think that this is an episode that maybe increases a little bit by the end of the season, seeing where it goes. So I am going to remain optimistic and hopeful. 4 videotapes for me, which would be my lowest score of an episode so far, but still very, very good show so far. And I'm ready for episode 5. I wish they were doing 2 a week. I'm not going to lie.
So I am going to actually go a little up again. I do agree it is kind of a filler, but we do need, it was done really well. I am heartbroken. You guys reminded me, I'm heartbroken with Harry because the whole cheating thing just kind of really annoyed me. But the last 30 seconds of this episode, literally I gasped and I loved it. And I didn't realize how big Joey Pants is. So I'm actually going to 4.5.
Nice.
Because of that scene.
We can leave 4.5 up. So I'm 4.5 too. Joey Pants and Joey we trust. I really hope not. I buy my own theory. John has a good theory, so I'm going to stick with John's theory that maybe he doesn't die, and that's why Dexter loves how to sail.
Can I butt in really quick with that one?
Sure.
But I feel like, though I would love that theory, I think Harry is already busy enough, and Harry would have to be his enemy if he sees that his son is now being molded by another guy.
And also, yeah,
so
and also
I don't follow it.
Yeah, and do I remember correctly, when Dexter kills particularly serial killers, doesn't he usually borrow something from them after he kills, borrow something they do, or a method? Or am I just totally imagining?
You're confusing the show with Breaking Bad, I think.
Maybe that's why that might be what I'm doing. For some reason, I thought. Yeah, so I thought maybe
Walter always borrows from somebody he kills. I don't think
that's what it is.
We're not at the point where Dexter collects the blood from his victims.
No.
I think we're going to see that.
Well, yeah, because he had the earrings at first. And he learned how that's a mistake. So yeah, he's still learning. But
and he cuts the one guy's cheek when he throws the highlight ball at him. He cuts him. But he doesn't take any blood from him.
I do think that Joey's dead by the end of this season. Not gonna lie.
By the end of the season, yeah.
But I hope we get a few more episodes, and I hope we get some good heart-to-hearts with those.
Yeah, but then Harry has to kill him.
Harry isn't gonna hurt him.
Or out of the box thinking, because it's Miami, maybe he cleans his life up and he becomes the captain of a technical narcotics team. And that's
But he eventually, I feel that they'll turn on him, and he might wind up dead and leave a tape for his boys. Down the road. down the road. All right. That being said, that'll do it for this episode 4, Fender Bender of Dexter Original Sin. We'll be back next week with episode 5 or episode 5 and 6. I don't know how they're releasing this stuff. Whatever they release this week, we'll cover next week. If you made it this far in the episode, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Follow us everywhere. Go to this website here for the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge. If you're doing that, sign up, do your movies, all that stuff. We'd love to interact with you all year. I'm John Maher. This is my wife, Fiorella Maher. That's Aaron Brooks. Abby couldn't make it tonight. But we love having our guests, Bobby and Jess Castner here. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great week. This is
Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year.
New Year.
I love her.